Good evening. This is Left, Right and Centre. I'm Nidhi Razdan. Tonight, the Prime Minister announces major labour reforms as his government gets set to move ahead on the reform agenda it had promised. But do these reforms go far enough? Is the Modi government ready to move ahead in other critical sectors, or has the pace been too slow? Also tonight, actress Sonakshi Sinha hits out at those who comment on her weight, says she'll never be a skeleton. Are perceptions about weight and appearance finally changing in the entertainment and fashion world? That's in about 30 minutes from now. But first, the Prime Minister unveiled major reforms in the labour sector today with an aim to end Inspector Raj and simplify things for both industry as well as workers. Calling the ease of doing business as essential to his Make in India campaign, the PM stressed that labour issues were also being seen from the point of view of workers. Industry has strongly welcomed the move.
जितनी ताकत सत्यमेव जयते की है, उतनी ही ताकत राष्ट्र के विकास के लिए श्रम एव जयते की है.
For his Make in India push, the Prime Minister needed to make doing business easy. As a first measure, he has eased the rules governing industry. The Prime Minister announced a new inspection system generated randomly by computers, which will end arbitrary inspections by factory inspectors and exploitation. One online form instead of 16 needed earlier for filing labour details. And to end protracted harassment, inspection reports will now have to be filed within 72 hours. To signal that he is watching them, the Prime Minister sent out text messages to 1,800-odd factory inspectors.
We are playing a vital role in maintaining the safety, health and welfare, etc. of the factory workers of the state. And our role is not actually, we can say, Inspector Raj.
Complexity into the system, it leads to undesirable practices. I can openly say it leads to corruption, it leads to favoritism.
But easing rules for industry when it comes to labour issues is politically sensitive. So the Prime Minister sugar-coated it.
श्रमिक की आंखों से ही श्रमिक समस्या देखनी चाहिए. उद्योगकार की आंखों से श्रमिक की समस्या नहीं देख सकते.
To signal that the focus remained labourers and employees, for labourers there will be now a portable access number for Provident Fund, which can continue when they switch jobs. Insurance for workers, a minimum pension not less than 1,000 rupees per month. Still, there are voices of opposition.
I do not understand how this is going to create new jobs, ending Inspector Raj.
During his recent visit to United States, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was handed over a long wish list by global investors and CEOs. And that included reduced red tape, labour reforms, and also better ease of doing business. Big change will only come through after the legislations are passed in Parliament and after sustained efforts. But the Prime Minister did not want to wait, and the announcements made today can be called a signal of intent. With Siddharth Pandey in Delhi, Rahul Srivastava for NDTV.
Well, these are perhaps much-awaited announcements that industry had been looking out for. There is, as you saw, there's still some criticism, and many are wondering whether the next round of reforms is going to come soon or whether the Modi government is going to wait. Joining us on the program tonight, Siddharth Birla, the president of FICCI, Mr. Surinder Kapoor from CII, also with us D. Raja, Rajya Sabha MP of the CPI, Sambit Patra, spokesperson of the BJP, and will be joined by Salman Soz, spokesperson of the Congress Party. Mr. Birla, to you first. Much awaited, I would say that, this announcement today, everyone had been looking to see when the first wave of reforms would roll out. Do you believe that this is just the beginning, or that we should, pause for a bit, that this may be a start, but the next round may take some time?
Thank you, Nidhi. I am very clear this is the signal of a beginning, and it cannot be the complete, because India needs much more in its path to easing business, to creating more employment. But I would like to put this in perspective. When the Prime Minister talks of ease of doing business, let's begin. How is ease of doing business is going to come from removing the pain of doing business. We have to remove the pain first, then go towards ease. If you really look at the employment in India, 80% of the manufacturing units employ less than 50 people. So really speaking, 80% of small 80% of the employment is made up of small units, which employ less than 50 people each. And conceivably, you know, sitting in a large company's chair, the problems of a small man are huge compared to the problems of a large corporate. So I would say that the Prime Minister's aim has been to remove the pain for the smaller people right away. And that is the direction which he is taking. And that is what will create employment in this country in a large way, particularly to support the Make in India program.
So you believe it's an important beginning. Mr. Surinder Kapoor, does it go far enough though? Because as far as India's labour laws are concerned, there are many issues. There are just, as many would point out, just too many laws that govern our labour issues here. There are state laws, there are central laws. And, you know, an act which also, for instance, doesn't really allow you to fire people, you know, if you want to, if you are a company with a certain number of people that are, you know, employed with it. So does this go far enough in addressing industry's concerns?
Well, look, I don't think we should be impatient. Changes are not going to happen overnight. You're dealing with a legacy of mistrust between labor and management. And I think a process needs to be started where the trust deficit needs to go away. And I think with this, what Mr. Modi has done today, and I congratulate him for taking this first step, because he's working on Make in India. That's his program. And Make in India, as Siddhartha said, the first thing is how do you make doing business in India easy? And I think that's really the first step he's taken. I don't think we've touched labor reforms in this, in what they've done today. They're talking about how is it going to be easy in terms of inspection, labor inspectors that are used today, how that will ease off. He's going to use the digital world to make sure that there's transparency and
things are more streamlined.
More streamlined, and there is no vendetta that anybody takes on at the lower level. So I'm very happy with what they've done. Of course, it's not the real story yet to come. But please remember, everybody in the world, whenever Mr. Modi has gone overseas, he's had to face this issue of industrial relations in India. I'm sure when he went to Japan, Japanese businessmen talked about it. In America, American businessmen have talked about it. So and Indian business have constantly been saying that labor laws needs updation. I don't think Indian industry is looking for hire and fire. I think we're looking for a productive workforce. We're looking for a workforce that works actually 8 hours a day. Frankly, most industries don't have employees working for 8 hours a day. So I think there has got to be a partnership that we need to create between labor and management. And I think we need to create an environment in which we all can work together. Because our objective for Make in India is Make in India competitively. Not just Make in India, we need to Make in India competitively so that we can go to the global market.
I think those are excellent points, and I want to ask Mr. D. Raja, then Mr. Raja, what is your principal objection to what the PM has said today? Because it appears from what he has said that as he put it, he's also looking at this issue through the eyes of the workers. Now you have, for instance, an announcement about minimum wages going up, easier access for workers to insurance, to their provident funds and so on. I'm sure you would welcome that. That's a good thing.
Nidhi, in any economy, working people are the primary productive force. I hope everybody will acknowledge this, agree to this. If working people are the primary productive force, then any reform which is intended or which is proposed should be pro-working people. Unless you involve the living human beings who work on any equipment with their physique and mind, you cannot have any production. You cannot increase your productivity. You cannot create wealth. So people must be the center of any reform. In this case, working people must be the center of any reform. What your correspondent has said, it is all sugar-coated. And what one of our panelists has been saying, the real story is yet to come. What is the real story yet to come? Because these are all pending before the parliament.
Why do you call it sugar-coated?
Amendments to Factory Act, amendments to Factory Act, amendments to Industrial Disputes Act, amendments to Minimum Wages Act, they are all pending before the parliament and they are all anti-labor. and they are not in the interests of working people. That's what I am saying. And you talk about manufacturing unit and small factories which employ only 50 workers or less than 50 workers. Now what is the proposal being made? If a unit is having less than 40 workers, no labor law should be applied there and no trade union can function there. So in a democracy as we have today, one should acknowledge the legitimacy or legitimate functioning of trade unions.
But Mr. Raja, why do you say sugar-coated? If the minimum wage is going to go up,
I am not saying it is your correspondent. This phrase has been used by your own correspondent. That's what I am saying. And one of the panelists is saying the real story is yet to come. What is that real story?
Okay, Mr. Kapoor wants to interject before I come to the political panel. Yes.
So, Mr. Raja, let me say something to you. I want you to know that CII, FICCI and other industry associations today are in dialogue with your trade union leaders from all the trade union parties. We're dialoguing to say what are the reforms that are required so that we can create a consensus amongst ourselves so that the government doesn't impose anything. But the fact is we need changes. And I think we need changes keeping in mind that how do we make India a competitive manufacturing base. I think that's really the whole objective. And therefore we are...
I'm sorry, if at all somebody is making this India, it is the working people.
Of course they are.
Through their labor only, this country is made.
Sir, there is working people, there is also capital required. Working people cannot do on
capital,
their own.
I understand. Who creates capital? That also I can question. Capital doesn't come from skies.
No, it doesn't. Yeah,
capital is created here.
Therefore, a partnership is required. Please understand the partnership is required. And I don't think it's this or that. And frankly, what Mr. Modi said today, what really touched me was he is saying that we need to give honor to the workers. We need to upgrade them. They're triumphing.
You know, I have to say that that's something that was a very good thing that the Prime Minister said. And Salman Soz, I'll bring you in on that because, you know, the Congress has, as an opposition party, been very critical of the way the government has so far handled the economy. This, in a sense, many feel gives a signal that no, the government is now getting serious as far as reform is concerned. This is the first step. And also, the Prime Minister didn't, you know, when he talked today, didn't appear to be talking only from the interest of industry. He clearly made it sound that, you know, this was for the interest of workers as well, and that's pretty smart. Sure. Salman Soz.
Mr. Modi is a smart communicator. I accept that. Everybody knows that. The Congress party actually is the original reformer out here. We've been at the forefront of reforms in this country for a long, long time. And even as far as labor reforms go, if you look at the manifesto of the Congress party, we were the first major party to talk about labor reforms. But you see, we have to understand what we're trying to reform and how we're going to do these things. You see, many times, what many kind of columnists, what I call kind of neoclassical economists have been talking about is hire and fire. They're basically concerned with hire and fire, which, by the way, is not the totality of reforms. Yes, we need flexibility in the labor markets. There's no doubt about it. At the same time, we also need to safeguard the interests of the workers, which, frankly, we've not been able to do a good job of. We can rage against the inspection Raj, but the spirit of the inspections is that we have to try and safeguard those who don't have a voice. Now, that has become a very corrupt kind of industry, so to speak, but that doesn't kind of take away from the fundamental kind of point of how are we going to be able to also safeguard the rights of workers. Yes, we need to be much better. By the way, I take exception to this whole idea that we've got to make in India. If we were not making in India, how would India be the third biggest economy in the world in PPP terms? It would have been impossible. We are making in India. We've got to make it. We got to make better. We got to make more efficiently. We got to make more effectively. Yes, we need reforms. We need change, and any country in this phase of development would want that. At the same time, we should not pay, by the way, just kind of pay lip service to people who have no voice, who are sweating it out.
Just to step out of the realm of politics for a moment, and given your own economic background, the fact that, for instance, they've simplified processes. You have one window, one portal, one form to fill. Minimum wage has gone up. So, would you at least welcome those basic steps, those initial steps that have been taken today?
Nidhi, I mean, I'll take you to J&K, which is my own state, where we have a one-stop window for businesses, but it doesn't work effectively. That's a different matter. It's not a new idea. I think we've always said that we're going to be very constructive in our support to the government. We do need reforms. Let's be very clear about that. And that's why we put it in our manifesto as well. And we will support all efforts to reform things. But we have to also make sure that in trying to reform things, we do not actually take away from the efforts of those who actually make a lot of these things. And those are the ones who have very little voice, by the way. If you think about what Rajasthan is trying to do, if you have fewer than, I think if you're going to fire fewer than 300 employees or whatever, you don't need permission and all that stuff. It's about numbers. That's not the kind of quality we want. We've got to actually be inclusive. We've got to have a partnership, like one of your speakers said. But we will not, the thing is that what I'm worried about is that the Prime Minister talks a really good game. But when it comes to actually doing things, there could be danger for the average worker. So that's what we'll try to safeguard against. So otherwise, we're all for reform.
So Sambit Patra, how does then the government tackle this? What is a politically sensitive issue? You can see here that everyone's trying to be politically correct on this, and it is a minefield, which is why perhaps your government has waited until after the assembly elections were over in Maharashtra and Haryana to even talk about this.
Nidhi, first and foremost, my sincere advice to Salman Soos, he's a dear friend of mine, is when things are good and when the scheme is a fantastic one, then the best thing is to say it's really good and we appreciate it, rather than using a lot of vocabulary and trying to beat around the bush. We all know, all of the participants over here, by and large, know that this is a fantastic move, and in the heart of hearts, we have all accepted it. See, Mr. Modi went to Japan and spoke there to the investors, saying that there would be no red tapeism, but there would be red carpet welcome. I believe the laying in of the red carpet has just started today in the Shrameva Jayate program, where the much needed archaic laws of labor, in fact, have been modified. The Inspector Raj, which since long was a pivotal point of speaking, which had no objectivity in it, where the inspector in itself used to generate as to where they had to go for the inspection, and the kind of arbitrariness that we saw in the Inspector Raj is, I believe, one of the most important issues which has been addressed with the kind of computer generated list. Within 72 hours the observation has to be filed, and most importantly the objectivity that has been attached to the inspector list. Secondly, and most importantly, it's a win-win situation for both the employers as well as the employees. As rightly pointed out by your correspondent and by you, Nidhi, several number of times, that the ceiling, wage ceiling, in fact, has been shifted from 6,500 to 15,000, so that each and every employee is brought under the employment, the PF scheme, so that they all gain something out of it. And the minimum pension has been shifted to 1,000 rupees, so everyone gains something out of this scheme which has been rolled out. We had lots of trouble for PF. We have seen as to how the government employees used to run from pillar to post, leave aside the, the smaller workers. Even those in the main important post used to run from pillar to post to the PF. Today, the organized sector worker at least does not have to worry about that. He or she may be transferred to any place.
Salman has a quick rebuttal for you. Quick rebuttal from Salman, and then I'd like to come back, to the road ahead. Yes.
Nidhi, I keep hearing these kind of great lines from the BJP. Now they don't want red tape, they want red carpet. The last thing we want, they can roll out the red carpet, but let's just make sure that the red in there is not the blood and sweat of the poorest of the poor in this country. That's what we're trying to caution against. Nothing about, you can roll out as many red carpets as you want. We want more business in this country. We want more development in this country. We want more growth in this country. And by the way,
salaries have been increased,
I did not interrupt you. Please do not interrupt me.
How is it red so black?
Let him finish. Let him finish, Sambit. I'll come back to you.
Sambit, this is not Times Now. This is not Times Now. This is NDTV. Let's just talk. I'm just saying that we are all for growth. by the way. We know its impact on poverty
You're
reduction.
saying not at the cost.
And by the way, the government that gave the most growth to this country was the UPA government.